welcome back to Wallington Filming. Right, if you're an house basher or you do a lot of rolling in factories or houses, whatever you do, and you're using a roller most of the day, most of the week, you need a good roller cage, don't you? Now, I've done reviews on Purdy, Hamilton, adjustable roller cages, etc. And I think with a Hamilton adjustable roller cage and the normal 15-inch roller cage, they're made out of aluminium, and if you can get one that's high strength aluminium, because you've got to watch it, because some of them are low strength and you can literally bend them, they don't last 5 minutes, then you're on to a winner. It could last you like 10, 15, 20 years. And I have got a couple that have had like 20 years, and the only problem I get with them really is just the screw bits on the end, you know, they tend to wear down with you taking the sleeve off and stuff like that. Now, I've done a review on the Purdy roller cage before, but unfortunately, I just wouldn't recommend one. Now, I know a lot of us use a lot of Purdy kit, don't we? And I do use a lot of Purdy kit. I don't really use the brushes, but I use a Purdy roller cage, and 9 times out of 10, the actual roller pole is a Purdy, and you can't really fault the roller poles, but the cages, honestly. Now, there is one good thing about this roller cage made by Purdy, and I'll give you a bit of a close-up in a minute. I don't know if most of you guys realise it, and that's the pins that go into the plastic piece on your sleeve. I'll give you a bit of a close-up there. It's a really good feature by Purdy, and even Hamilton don't do it. But the actual cage itself, now the problem is they're not making them to last, and they're not making them for everyday use like I do. And I've had problems with this aluminium bar here slowly creeping out, and as you roll in, you know, it comes out and your sleeve falls off, doesn't it? Absolute nightmare. A lot of guys, including Flash as well, what they tend to do when they buy them is stick some Modification down here to stop them creeping out. Because normally you've got the yellow clips here and you've got a little screw, haven't you? Absolute waste of time. They just don't do the job. I know a lot of guys out there that use these have never had a problem, but I use this on a day-to-day basis, and so does a couple of other guys, and you all have the same problem because it's getting a lot of hammer every single day. Now, the trouble with a lot of companies is it's they're not building them to last. It's like, just build them, and in a short period of time they're going to start having problems, because it's all about profit at the end of the day for them, isn't it? They're not bothered about making them to last. So I've actually do a bit of a modification to this. Like I say, a lot of us tend to stick a bit of Modification down here to stop it creeping out. The only disadvantage with that is if you ever want to take your sleeve off, it's difficult to get it out. Now, I did Modification this, and one of these bars doesn't move, but the other one tends to creep out, so I've had to modify it, which I'm going to show you what I've done in a minute. Another problem with this Purdy is it's virtually all plastic, so it's not designed to last. And I don't know whether you can see that, but it's actually, with wear, it's actually starting to bow either end. Do you know what I mean? Come down like that. Look at it. Can you see how that is like that? Look, it's moving, isn't it? There's just no strength there because it's virtually 90% plastic, and at some point this is just going to crack somewhere around this joint here, I would have thought. But as you can see, look, you know, it's on the Purdy cage, on the Purdy arm here, and it's moving a bit on there as well. They're just not built for like proper house bashers who are giving them some stick, unfortunately. And one of the big problems is the arms slowly creeping out and your sleeve falling off, isn't it? So let me give you a bit of a close-up on this, and I'm going to show you one of the brilliant points about this cage, which nobody else seems to do on the pins. And I'm going to show you how I've had to modify this slightly so it lasts a bit longer. But if things carry on, I'm just going to go back over to the Hamilton cages and try and sort something out with the pins on there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's get a bit of a close up on it. Right then, guys, here it is, the Purdy adjustable roller cage. Right then, as I say, whether you can see that, can you see how that slightly bows out there? That's due to like heavy use on a weekly basis. That's bowing out there. Yeah. Now then, what I've had to do here, I've took these off. Yeah, they fit on there. I've took them off because they're absolute waste of time. They just don't do anything whatsoever. They don't hold these in at all, right? And I've cut this off. See this plastic piece? I've cut that off, and I've cut that off. That holds that in. And there's a little screw there, which is like a grub screw, which is supposed to hold these in place as far as I'm aware. But they just don't do the job when they're getting like heavy use by somebody like myself. So what I've had to do, I've cut them off, I've took them yellow things off, and I've drilled straight through the aluminium bar on each side, right, drilled a hole through, and I've put like a nut and a bolt thing through here, yeah? I've turned it over, you'll see, look. Now then, I've done that because one of these arms just keeps creeping out, and if I do manage to get it fixed in really well with mitre bond, I'm going to have a trouble taking my sleeve off when one of the end caps starts going wrong or anything like that. Yeah, and the good thing about doing it like this is, if I need to take the sleeve off, which is a bit rare, I can just unscrew one of these bolts, slide it out, and take the sleeve off. And with a bit of luck, they just shouldn't move any more, which would allow that sleeve to like fall off when one of these bars starts creeping out, which I have happened to me on near enough a day-to-day basis at work. Even before I modified it with all this in and the grub screws in, I just kept getting it creeping out every day and the sleeve dropping off. So that should eliminate that, right? Now I'm going to show you one thing that's really, really good about this sleeve that no other manufacturer seems to do. Right, so let me just take one of these off for you, yeah? Just so I can show you on these pins. Let's just get this off. And it's as simple as that, look. Take that off. Right, and that's what used to happen to me, even before I took these off. Yeah? What used to happen was that would just slowly creep out, and then the arm would fall off because like I'm giving it some stick on a day-to-day basis, yeah? Right, so one of the main features that is really, really good. And if I could put it onto a Hamilton at some stage, I'm going to do it. And that is that, baby. Look at that. See that? That pin has got plastic fitted on it there. And it stops all the brown. It stops all the paint going on that pin and discolouring and coming out the end, especially when you're rolling in white. So yeah, there you go, look at that, beautiful. Let's get a close up on that for you. See that pin? Plastic, absolutely brilliant. That's the only good thing about a Purdy arm, I'll tell you. So, let's put this back on. Like so. Just drill straight through there. Put that back on. So if you want to change the sleeve, or put a smaller or bigger sleeve on, that's the way you go about it. Yeah. And that's a modification I've done. I've just put some bolts through there. Yeah. So there you go, look. 2 nut and bolts through. Simple as that. Got rid of that rubbish that doesn't it? It's neither use or ornament. Them yellow clips don't work. Right then, guys, you've seen a bit of a close up there on this Purdy roller cage, adjustable one. So what I've done is took them plastic pieces off there and the grub screws, because they're just completely useless. If you're banging houses out on a day-to-day basis, they just don't hold up whatsoever. And I've put 2 nut and bolts, drilled 2 holes and put 2 nut and bolts through there. And like I say, the one really good thing about this roller cage is them pins that go through there compared to the Hamilton one. They've got that plastic coating and they really do stop the discoloration of emulsion coming out at the end of your roller there. Although, you know, I've done a video on these caps is a reason why you get discoloration as well when the paint starts going inside the sleeve. But yeah, I mean, if anybody knows how to get a Hamilton cage and get that plastic on that pin, I think that would solve a lot of the problems. Maybe you've got to melt some plastic down and just dip it in them end pins, you know what I mean? But yeah, unfortunately, Purdy's cage, it's not built for everyday continuous use. I mean, sometimes I use this like for like 6 to 8 hours non-stop. Yeah, so I'm at it all day using this cage, and they're just not built for it. And that plastic construction, it's just not good enough. This is why I prefer the Hamilton one, the aluminium frame, because it's got strength there, but if you use it on a day-to-day basis, it's just not going to handle that. And as you can see, it's starting to bend already. So that's a modification. I've had to do it, and that's the only good point about it. But yeah, if anybody knows, what to do with that Hamilton cage on them pins, I think we could do with some plastic on them pins, or maybe there's something you can buy. I don't know, but we're finding out about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed content of this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Until next time, from the Candleman.